Today, I'm a teacher. I'm the director of a Broadway-style musical. I mentor and coach people, and above all, I learn. 7 years ago, I was in my final year in college studying banking and finance and economics. And if I'd followed the normal path, I would probably have got an MBA and not much else by today. I thought I'd get my master's, make some money, and think about social work when I was better settled in life. But then, one of my best friends from school passed away. She went in to have a shower and never came out. They broke the door down to find her lying on the floor. And to this day, nobody knows what caused her death. That hit me hard. I thought I was young and healthy and I'd be around forever. But maybe I wouldn't be. Maybe I needed to do the things I believed were important now, because I may not be around to do them later. That's when I decided to apply to the Teach for India Fellowship and was selected into the first cohort in 2009. If you must know, we called ourselves the Pioneers. I was placed in a 4th grade classroom in a low-income private school in Pune. I called my class the Explorers. We believed in asking countless questions, exploring new ideas, building perseverance, being incredibly confident, and learning to make choices for ourselves. Today, I'm going to tell you about Sanjana. Sanjana joined my class 2 months after I had already begun teaching. All Sanjana did, day in and day out, was cry. If I asked her a question, she would cry. Say something kind to her, and she would cry. If another student spoke to her or so much as looked at her, she would cry. I was at my wit's end and did not know what to do with her. So I just started spending as much time as possible. I spent time with her in class, outside of class, during school, at her house. I just kept spending time with her. And as we began communicating more, she began crying less. Sanjana grew by 51% in math and by 2 reading levels that year and really showed me what was possible. But that's not why I'm telling you about her. 7 months into the year, Sanjana came to me and told me that her parents wanted to get her married and send her to the village. She was 12 years old. I didn't know what to do, and my 21-year-old self definitely didn't know what to say to her. So I just sat on my chair and stared. That's when Sanjana knelt in front of me, put her hands on my knees, and said, "Didi, don't worry. I've told my mama I'm not going to the village and I'm not going to get married. I'm going to stay in school and study, and I need to go to college." I burst into tears. I knew that Sanjana's life would forever be different because of this. She was making choices for herself. Of course, it wasn't as easy as Sanjana saying no and her parents saying okay. We spent countless months in conversations with parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, but we finally convinced them, and Sanjana stayed in school and continued to make choices for herself. This is one of my favorite pictures. It's been the screensaver on my phone for over 5 years, and it serves as a constant reminder that my 2 years as a fellow taught me a lot more than I taught my children. I realized that children like Sanjana want to learn, and it's my responsibility to help them do so. I realized that the potential within each child was limitless, but for the belief of those around them. And I realized that the greatest impact was made by the simplest things, like joy, high expectations, self-awareness, focus on values, and the ability to make choices. These lessons stayed with me as I joined Teach for India as a staff member immediately after my fellowship. I served in multiple roles at Teach for India, and then 2 years ago, I began working with a group of children to help deepen our organizational understanding of what an excellent education really looked like and the impact it could have on our students' lives. Basically, I was trying to figure out how to recreate the impact we had on Sanjana with thousands of other children. So we set out to do a 90-minute Broadway-style musical with 60 Teach for India students who spoke no English and had no previous exposure to the arts, except for a little Bollywood. And yet, this is what they created. It's original music composed by Tony-winning Broadway artists that the children performed for 90 minutes.
One worships the sun, the other the night. Two title and title alone. She can never possibly lead a kingdom. Their destruction is written in the stars.
I don't need to be somebody's princess, tucked away like a jewel or a slave. I want to be free. I want to be loved. I want to be awesome. I want to be proud. I want to be more than poor little me.
Thank you. Khushi, who you just saw there, is 11 years old. She spoke no English when she joined, and then she sang live, all of that. So we performed 11 shows in Mumbai and Pune for an audience of over 10,000 people. Though the shows were great and showed people what our kids were capable of doing, the journey in bringing our children to this place was our primary focus. Through Maya, we took these children on a life-changing journey where they went on this journey of self-discovery, of understanding their deepest values and finding their brightest light. We focused on excellence, on increasing self-awareness, on helping them build really strong relationships and create a network of support for themselves. We focused on the values of courage, compassion, and wisdom. The Maya journey served as a symbol for the kind of education all children deserved, one that integrates academic achievement, yes, but also focuses on values and mindsets and exposure and access. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek into our rehearsals.
Maya was trapped in her palace, locked in those four walls, and so was I. I had to sit in my house locked the whole day teaching and talking to myself. So just like Maya's journey, even I had to struggle to find my voice. I knew that I had the light that wanted to shine. I knew that I had a voice that wanted to come out. Even I wanted to sing.
My mom, dad and my aunt, they think I have nothing. I don't have talent inside me. So I want to show them values and I want to show them what are we and what am I.
Thank you. Our children learned and grew so much through this process that their lives are fundamentally different as a result of it. Moise's parents, 2 years ago, when we interviewed them, said the only thing he would become was the Gunda of the community. Today, he leads singing and dance classes for other children around his home. Priyanka is now studying at UWC College in Italy. The United World College offered scholarships. The United World College offered scholarships to Teach for India and Akanksha students who were in their 10th grade about to enter college. They selected 4 children, and I'm incredibly proud to say that 3 out of the 4 children selected were Maya students. So since the end of our shows in November, because we can't travel too much with the shows, our kids have school, some are in college, and it's really expensive, we started working on what we call the Maya Musical Cineplay. This is a combination of film and theater and will allow us to travel with the show and take the stories and values within Maya to children and educators across the world. We've also focused on building student leadership. We need our children to be equal partners in this movement as we fight for educational equity if we ever hope to attain it. The Maya children, as you see up there, started Pune's first ever Seva Cafe. They raised over 40,000 rupees for a child from another NGO who needed neurosurgery, and they performed street plays to combat issues they were facing in their community. They did all of this completely independently. So what we're doing now is focusing on what we call Maya 2.0. This is happening across 6 of Teach for India's cities, and we have 1 staff member in each city working with a group of children to really help them build on the learnings from my journey with the original Maya children and spread those learnings to multiple children across the country. The idea of student leadership has now spread across the world. Teach for India, inspired by Maya, has started the 1,000 Student Leaders campaign, where they're encouraging each of the 37 countries who are part of the Teach For network to actively build the leadership of the students they serve. Now that you know that every child wants to learn, and all it takes is high expectations, a focus on values, building self-awareness, and joy, I'd like to leave you with one question. What will you do to help every child in our country attain an excellent education and reach their fullest potential? What will you do? What do you commit to doing to ensure that this happens? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the movement.